Alright, we are here today playing some Modern, and I am on a black-red hollow one deck. It's a pretty standard list. This hand doesn't look amazing, but I do have some discard spells, some cards I wouldn't mind in the graveyard. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it. I would like to have Hollow One or any of my Delve creatures, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and crack this for a Blood Crypt. Now, I'm still kind of working my way out with this deck, trying to find out, do I need the Blood Crypts every time on turn 1? Do I have to have access to double black for the Blood Gas in case I need to hard cast them? Or if sometimes it's worth just getting mountains, that kind of thing. I'm going to play Flameblade Adept on turn 1 here. Again, this is something else I'm trying to figure out, whether or not I need to be playing these turn 1 like Faithless Looting or Burning Inquiry, even when I don't have Hollow Ones in hand, or if it's better to play this Adept and then get some value off the discards on turn 2 and potentially, maybe dig into that Hollow One, or maybe a Delve creature that I can actually cast then. And that's the way I've kind of been playing it, and it's been going pretty good for me. I've done a couple of leagues with it so far, and 2 out of the 3 leagues went pretty well. One went just kind of abysmally. I had bad luck just all over the place, and I made some misplays too. I just wasn't doing great with the deck. But I've had 2 leagues where I've done 3 and 2, which just starting out with the deck I'm perfectly happy with. So opponent playing a Marsh Flats and cracking it. Let's see what they get. Basic Swamp. So we probably have a Thoughtseize coming, and we do. I'm not in a bad spot no matter what they really take here. Of course, they're not going to take the Phoenix, but the Burning Inquiry or the Faithless Looting does good for me next turn, because I get to play it, and then I get to grab the Phoenix. I get to play Faithless Looting. Well, I guess that doesn't get me up to 4, but, if I can find something else, I can still grab the Phoenix off the increased power of the Flame Blade. Collector Brutality is interesting. This is a very good card. I'm main decking 2. I know there actually might be a little bit of questionableness about that. I see this kind of fluctuate on some lists, but I've been very impressed with it, truth be told. So I'm going to play my land. Then I'll probably play Faithless Looting here. Okay, Street Wraith is exactly what I was looking for, because that lets me get Flamewake Phoenix from my graveyard. So the weakest cards in my hand right now are probably Flamewake Phoenix and Goblin Lore, not having anything to play off the Goblin Lore. Go ahead and cycle Street Wraith. Find a mountain, that's fine. I will crack this. I can probably just grab a basic mountain here. Yeah, that should be fine. And then I'm going to go into combat with the Phoenix in the graveyard. I'll get to bring it out now that the Flame Blade is at 4 power. Another reason I wanted to play that turn 1. And I'll get to attack in for 6 on turn 2, which feels pretty good. Alright, so with the Bolt, I'll be able to deal with, hopefully just about any threat they put on the field, and then the Collective Brutality if I need to grab something from their hand. The Brutality is solid. It does a lot for this deck. It has 2 really solid modes, and the third mode can be used occasionally. But not only does it do 2 things the deck wants to do, it disrupts, it kills creatures as removal, but it also discards and fuels some of our engines there between Hollow One, getting the Phoenixes or the Blood Gas in the graveyard, filling up the graveyard for Delve creatures. I mean, the card just does a lot. So very impressed with this card. I originally wasn't running it just because, as you may know, it is one of the slightly more costly cards in the deck. But, I've been very happy ever since I started playing it. So, looks like they are using all 3 modes, it seems. So they're going to get to grab some stuff, kill my Flameblade Adept, and gain a couple life, taking my own Brutality. And they have a Lingering Souls in the graveyard that they're going to be able to cast next turn. Let's see. I do have Faithless Looting in the graveyard I could play. but I think it's going to be a little bit more worthwhile to play Burning Inquiry, just because my opponent seems pretty actively not wanting me to get into their hand to grab anything. So maybe if I kind of try to disrupt that, it'll be fine. And let's be honest, I don't have a lot other to do this turn. I end up with 2 bolts, which, let's be honest, is far from worst case scenario here. Gives me 6 points of reach, which I do not mind having. And it seems, of course, I'm playing kind of control-y here, like an Esper Control list. Elish Norn, that's cool. Never actually played against that. And I did get Snapcaster off of that, so that's pretty good. And I got Elish Norn and Hallowed Fountain. Alright, so they're drawing with Visions. I'm going to find out here what they do with their Scries. And top and bottom. Okay, so yeah, there's the Lingering Souls flashed back. If they want to double block the Phoenix, they can. I can also deal with that, but with one of the bolts, but I'm not actually even sure I would. Let's see, let me go ahead and attack. We'll see if they double block. If they do, I'll be forced into a decision here. But they don't, so that is good. And I'll pass the turn with both of my bolts open. If I can find one more point of damage somewhere, I can finish them off next turn. Which would effectively be playing both my bolts and drawing into a land, possibly. But that is, that's bad. Goryo's Vengeance. So they're getting Elish Norn back. And they're attacking for a lot. What is this? 6, 10? Yeah. Alright, so I think my best hope is bolting them twice here and hoping I draw something off the top of my deck that can finish the game for me, which won't even be a land at this point. I'd have to draw another bolt or something. I mean, I guess this is being exiled and I could kill the spirits off, but yeah, no, I'm just going to bolt them twice here. Well, Goblin Lore is not what I needed. And those aren't the cards I wanted to keep in my hand either. So it looks like that's going to be game. If I would have bolted the spirits, I could have lived another turn, but I'm not sure I would have lived past that, so I am not too upset with that decision. I think it was probably my best chance at an out. So we're going to see what to bring in. I'm going to bring in a couple Thoughtseizes. They obviously are a very controlling deck, so that seems like it could be pretty good. Do I want to bring in all 4? I don't actually think I do. So this is your first look at my sideboard here. I have one Big Game Hunter. I've actually not been super impressed with this card. I was running more of them, and I just it never really worked out for me. I have 4 Thought Seizes, 2 Fatal Pushes, 3 Ancient Grudges, 2 Grim Lavamancers, Arachnos Charm, which I saw on somebody else's list, and I just thought this was kind of fun. It's another artifact destroyer. It fights against like Empty the Warrens with Storm, and it works as a one-sided graveyard hate, which I know some people use Leyline of the Void for, but this seemed like it had a lot of effects, a lot of uses, so I kind of liked it. And then I have 2 Torpor Orb, because this deck is very weak to humans, and this works really well against that, and there's a couple other decks that Torpor Orb is just not bad against, so I'm trying it out. This is my first set of games where I'm trying it. Alright, so I want to bring in a couple Thought Seizes. What is not good against them? So they're playing white. So that means they probably are going to have like some Rest in Peace or something. Graveyard strategies probably aren't going to be ideal. So I'm going to cut 1 Angler, maybe 2. I could cut like some of the Bloodghast or the Flamewake Phoenixes, but truth be told, if I can play around the Graveyard Hate, it's going to be better off. But I do still need to cut 2 cards. I'll cut 1 Goblin Lore, 1 Bloodghast. This seems okay. Bloodghast I've actually found to be the less impressive version of my graveyard spells between the Phoenix and it. I think a lot of people might disagree with me on that, saying that Bloodghast is the superior card just because of how easy it is and it's free pretty much to recur if you can just play a land. But I've just been much more impressed with Phoenix on the whole. Casting out of my hand, all that. You know, Bloodghast just so easily, just so easily dies. It's on the ground, it's small, and sure it comes back, but it can't block either. So I kind of like the Phoenix. It's also easier to have double red to cast it from my hand if I need to, against like some Rest in Peace strategies or something like that. I'm actually going to take out my Stomping Ground and put this, well, no I'm not, because I made a last second decision after I already submitted. My opponent said okay, but I was thinking about maybe taking out the Stomping Ground because I don't have any need for the green, and putting in the Goblin Lore, but this looks pretty good, so I'm going to keep this. The question is, do I go... I have a lot of turn 1 plays here. I can take my shot at Burning Inquiry and hope that I don't discard the Hollow and I can get it out turn 1. Or I can go turn 2 Flameblade Adept, or turn 1 Flameblade Adept, turn 2 Faithless Looting into playing Hollow 1 with my second mana. And I actually think that's just a little bit better of a play, because that allows me to not only get some extra value out of the Faithless Looting, but it also says that if my opponent has some kind of removal spell, right, like they have a Fatal Push, a Path to Exile, something like that, they may be more inclined to use it on my Flameblade Adept. Obviously, if they are going to Thought Seize me on turn 1, then maybe I made the worst play, but that doesn't look to be the case. So even though I pulled the second Flameblade Adept, which makes it really tempting to super value my kind of stuff, I am going to go this route. Go ahead and play Faithless Looting. And I will discard the Bloodstained Mire. I can't play both Hollow Ones this turn unless I really take a go at the Burning Inquiry. Maybe I should just risk it. Be really bold. You know what? This deck is to have fun. Let's do it. We're going to play Arid Mesa, crack it for a mountain, and we are going to play Burning Inquiry, hoping not to toss our Hollow Ones. Maybe get to play both. Or get to play 0. Who knows? Alright, this is fine. Well, we tossed one of them, but that's okay. We'll play Hollow One here. You know, thinking back, I mentioned Fatal Push as a removal spell. The Flame Blade Adept would eat. It can't hit Hollow One, obviously. I don't know why I was thinking that. I was just thinking common removal spells, but that was what got cast on ours. We hit 2 lands of our opponents and an Inquisition of Kozilek. It would actually not be bad at all for them to play Inquisition of Kozilek. I'd be very happy if they did that, because they cannot decline to discard a Phoenix. We get the little Jace here, and then that's going to flip pretty quickly because I'm doing their discarding for them. Oy, not the kind of hand I was looking for here, because I don't have a way to cast Faithless Looting to trash these things. I can't play the Bloodghast because I opted to get the basic Mountain. So we're just going to be attacking, and a little sad that we can't play anything. I do believe the right call last turn would have been not playing that Burning Inquiry. That was more than definitely, in my opinion, a misplay, but that's okay. Alright, what does this guy even do? I was playing Standard when this guy was around, but I don't remember that much. So +1 is target creature gets -2, -0. -3 is you can cast, so you flash back a spell. And then -9 is when you cast a spell, target opponent mills 5. Okay, and then Detention Sphere. So that grabs Hollow One, right? Exile. When it leaves the battlefield, I get it back. Okay. Making sure there wasn't some second clause to that card that I wasn't familiar with. Okay, so he gets my Hollow One. Tick up Jace. And a Bolt still is not good. I mean, I get to hit the Jace here, but I don't really want or need to hit the Jace. And they topped and bottom with the visions. So here I could just hit the Jace to use my mana more efficiently, because if I draw a land, I'm surely going to be playing a Phoenix, and then I'll just be playing that multiple turns in a row. So I probably just bolt the Jace just so I can do something here, because I don't see myself getting to use it anytime that soon. Cast Burning Inquiry, because I, truth be told, don't have that much more to do. Only discarded actually one of the cards I wanted to discard, but I got out a Gifts Ungiven. That seems like an odd card for this deck to play, but I'm not super familiar with their list, so I'll just grab a basic Swamp, play the Bloodghast. It will not have haste because they don't have 10 or less, and pass the turn. Alright, so I can either play the Phoenix this turn and attack, or Collective Brutality to do 2 things. I think I'm actually going to play the Phoenix. I'm going to attack him, which may be an unusual call, but the reason I'm attacking him is because if I attack the Jace, I take it down to 3, but he takes it up to 4 next turn. So I'm only actually hitting it for 1 damage, which feels really inconsequential in the vast scheme of things. And I feel like I have a better chance if I just try to go for the throat effectively with this and try to get their life down as low as possible, as quick as possible. Which I know may not, again, be the best strategy or the right strategy, but I just feel like attacking the Jace is just fighting a losing battle at this point. In the same way as, I don't know, the Bolt maybe just should have gone at their phase 2, possibly. I just knew that Jace was going to be ulting in, like, 2 turns if I didn't. Alright, and they get Unburial Rights. They're going to grab Iona, Shield of Emeria. And that's just going to lose me the game. Yeah, I'm just going to concede on that one. Well, that did not go great, but we'll see how the next game goes. I'm going to play another one here, so I don't know. I am disappointed in that, but that's right. I haven't played against this kind of control deck with it before, so we'll put that one in the books, learn a little bit, and go on to the next game. Thanks for watching, guys.